Everybody, it's very tired. Jennifer McCreath. Thursday night, November 20th, 2014. Today is Transgender Day of Remembrance. The 17th annual Transgender Day of Remembrance. This is an event that was founded in 1998 by Gwendolyn Ann Smith. A trans woman who was a graphic designer, columnist, and activist. She wanted to memorialize the death of Rita Hester, the murder of Rita Hester, murdered in Alliston, Massachusetts. A hate crime. She was killed because she was trans. And the case is still unsolved this many years later. I've been holding Transgender Day of Remembrance ceremony since I first came out as a trans person. I've watched many activists, trans or otherwise, trying to turn this into something bigger. A turf war, a fight. We had an event that went on in Toronto, supposedly the center of the universe in Canada here today. Brand new group called the Toronto Trans Alliance created a new bizarre looking green yellow flag. I wanted to raise that flag at City Hall and celebrate. We're going to celebrate the murder of 269 people whose names I will be reading out to you shortly. Telling trans people of color on their website apparently to fuck off. So needless to say, there was some uproar. The genuine trans activists showed up and protested the event. Don't know the details, but a fight broke out. John Tory, the mayor of Toronto, Barbara Hall, former, or maybe she's current, Human Rights Commissioner of Ontario, showed up, worked with this alliance, this group. You don't do that. You don't create weird flags for traditional events. You don't celebrate at a vigil, candlelight vigil. People are being murdered right here in Canada. More trans Canadians were murdered this year than there were last year. It's not good news. Going to read out a list now. And we're going to light a candle, have a moment of silence. 289. Don't think we'll read them all, but we'll work our way through a few. People, humans, lives, murdered. Some shot, some tortured, strangled, indignified. Why? How many more does there have to be? TDOR.info. I don't know who manages this site. They've got a comprehensive list. Pretty much every event going on in the world today. A comprehensive list of documented. We don't know how many trans people have been murdered. We know the ones that have been documented in the media. And we have been able to find through searches. Quickly go through the list. Don't know if I'll show them all, but last year, November 20th, 2013, Trans Day of Remembrance. 50-year-old Jacqueline Cowdery, dead in the United Kingdom. I'm gonna dim the lights. I want you to be able to see the pictures. It's too tough. Rosa Ribbit, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Blunt force trauma to the head. 35 years old. Dead. Murdered. Beautiful. Take my word for it, folks. And whether you're passable or not, beautiful or not, doesn't really matter. These are people who were murdered because they were trans. There's Betty Skinner, 52 years old, Cleveland, Ohio. Blunt force trauma to the head. Dead. December 4th. I remember this one in the news. Brittany Sturgis, 22 years old, gunshot wound to the head, Cleveland, Illinois. Or sorry, Cleveland, Ohio. That's to Cleveland. Back-to-back days, December 4th, December 5th. There are so many in Brazil, and they're so horrid. The violence is disgusting. I'm going to skim through some of them. They stone people who are trans. January 5th, 39-year-old Elizabeth Mesquita was stoned to death for being trans. Someone named Paloma, multiple gunshots to the head and the chest. Reca Tomás was only 20 years old, multiple stab wounds. January, Brazil. Joseph Sanchez, 18 years old, multiple stab wounds, dumped in the street. City of Belize. Tony Gretchen, 50 years old, Brazil, multiple stab wounds. January 16th. 20-year-old Luana, gunshot to the chest in Brazil. Another gunshot. Crystal, 22 years old, Brazil. Tiffany's body was dismembered in Rio de Janeiro, 18 years old. I'll put the camera back on me while I'm reading these things out. Turn the light on. Sorry I look so brutal. It's been a long night, day and night, preparing for a lot on the go. Got multiple stab wounds on Joyce Fierretas, 32 years old. I mean, we're killing teenagers. I mean, we're seeing, teenagers. People in their 20s and 30s. Another one beaten, stoned to death. 32, Brazil. Another Brazil one, 6 gunshots to the head. 6. Don't have a lot of information. Tate. Facial wounds. I mean, we don't even know any more than that information. 32-year-old gunshot, Brazil. Here's the fucking worst one on the list. Alex Medeiros, 8 years old. 8! Beaten to death by father for refusing to cut hair and liking women's clothing. Brazil. Fucking Brazil. Another Brazil. I can't read these all. There's too many of them. They're all 20s. Teens, 20s, 30s. Gunshots. Ugh. Brazil, 69 Brazils. 19-year-old Brazil. 20-year-old Brazil. Brazil. Oh, we got one in Turkey. Kale Hulker, gunshot to the chest. Istanbul, Turkey. Turkey's had a couple bad ones over the past couple years, as I recall. We're back to Brazil. 4 gunshot wounds. We're just into May now. I'm not even telling you all the dates. 34-year-old Marcia Moraz, shot. Here's a good one. Which really means a bad one. Candy Hall, 40 years old. Massive trauma, body left in a field. Montebello, Maryland. Maryland, United States. Another place that's notorious for trans hate and trans murders. You're on the list again this year. Congratulations, you fuckers. Paula Camate, 29 years old, Brazil. Zuriata Reyes, 28, choked to death, Anaheim, California. Trans woman of, looks like either Hawaiian or Spanish descent. Another one in Maryland, a black trans woman in Maryland, another one murdered, 26-year-old, massive trauma, found dead in an alley, Baltimore, Maryland, June 16th. Yasmin Chancez, black trans woman, Fort Myers, Florida. That's where all the friggin' seniors go to play golf when they get old. I know, my dad goes down there. People murdering trans people in Fort Myers. Oh, she wasn't just killed, she was burned as well. Tiffany Edwards, 28, black trans woman shot. Cincinnati, Ohio. Here's one. We got someone who was an unknown woman, Brazil, raped, brutally executed with blows to the head. That's make that 2 in Brazil that day. Black trans woman, raped and brutalized to the head. A 24-year-old trans woman was hung to death in Brazil a couple days later. We're into July now. Honduras, we had someone beaten to death. Gunshot wounds to the hip, chest, and back in the 24-year-old Denise Brandao in Brazil. Alison Henrique de Silva in Brazil. Gunshot wounds. Unknown woman found dead with her eyes removed. Sao Paulo, Brazil. August. Alejandra Leos, trans woman of some ethnic minority, gunshot to the back. Memphis, Tennessee. Got one thrown from moving vehicle. 23-year-old trans woman out in Brazil. Marcella Duke, 46 years old, stoned to death. Stoned. They actually throw stones. Several people. For those of you that don't know what stoning is, it's a history lesson. Sadly, it's obviously still used in today's world against trans people in Colombia and Brazil. They literally have a bunch of people throw stones at you until you get hit in the head enough times that you're dead. Barbaric, cruel, torturous punishment. It's totally unnecessary. Another stoning in Colombia. Someone's pushed off a moving train in India. Gunshot wounds. We got a shooting death East Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. Nika Parker. Someone was choked to death, being drowned, asphyxiation. Philippines. .30 stab wounds into Aguinaldo, Colombelli, Brazil, October 16th. Brazil, 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 Brazil. 33 stabs into a Philippine trans woman, October 21st. Indianapolis, Indiana. Beautiful black trans woman, Ashley Sherman, shot in the head. No more Brazils. No, there's 10 or 11 more. It's a country called Georgia. Don't know where it is. But they shot and burned a trans woman there too. Oh, another one for Nashville, Tennessee. Gunshot wound. Let me guess. Trans woman of color. And it's totally unnecessary. There's absolutely no reason for this type of violence. And the biggest disgrace is that we have government entities that refuse to give trans people even human rights. It's tough enough coming out as trans. It's a shock to your family and friends. You're going to find yourself alienated. You might even lose your house or your job. I lost both. You're going to need to find a doctor who's willing to give you medical treatment. They're probably going to have to pay for it out of your own pocket, which contains an empty wallet because you lost your job. You're not going to get ID documents changed, so you're going to be outed all the time. And it's going to be very difficult to get access to the hormones and surgeries that you need. When you do, that process is going to be long and tedious and challenging. Isn't that enough? No. You got to murder us. Shoot us, choke us, strangle us, burn us. Do all those other sick things they're doing out there in Brazil, Ohio, Maryland, Edmonton, Canada. There's another one in Edmonton, Canada that was not on that list that was brought to my attention today, actually. Keep thinking of Neil Young's song, Ohio. Talks about the unnecessary shootings, deaths of some student, peaceful protesters. Towards the end of the song, the chorus, 4 dead in Ohio. Tell me why. 4 dead in Ohio. How many more? Why and how many more? And who's going to take action? Put an end to this. I mean, Brazil's obviously not a very safe place to be a trans person. Canada, not quite as likely to get murdered, but it damn sure ain't easy. It's time for trans people to align with humanities organization. Amnesty International, there's a good one, isn't it? Time to get on the phone with them. God knows these gay lesbian groups that want to talk trans activism aren't. They're working, but they're not helping. They're not getting the job done. Trans people, we need to step up. Those of you who were not murdered, consider yourself fortunate. I believe statistics show we have like a 20% chance of our cause of death will be murder. 41% chance of our cause of death being suicide. That's a whole other topic. I didn't know these people, but trans people know them. Trans people tend to know each other in the communities, at least the trans women. And it's a crushing blow. These people are friends, neighbors, family, quasi-family. For every family member I've lost who seemed to have a problem with me being trans, I picked up a new family member somewhere else. I have a lot of quasi-brothers and quasi-sisters and quasi-everything else's, and we need an international program to stop trans violence. Let's remember, these were lives. Good people. Okay, maybe there's a few bad ones in there. I don't know. I don't know them all. We never will get to know them. Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves to be murdered. Have their life taken away from them. In some cases, traumatic, brutal ways. So we're going to light a candle, have a moment of silence right now. Think about them. Dim the lights here a bit. Think about their families. Think about what they had to go through. Think about all the people that could help, who aren't. Let's see if this works. Get off. Come on, light. Okay, this match does not. Don't buy cheap matches. Rule number 1. Let's try again. The double. There we go. Oh, almost. Bear with me, folks. These candles have literally been sitting here for 365 days. This is the only time I really do this. One more time, we'll give this a try. Alright, it's nothing now. Candle. Sorry about the logistics here. There it is. It's a candle. See that, folks? And let's officially observe a moment of silence right now. Thank you. We'll figure out how to do a better job with the lighting in this place next year. I'll let that candle run for a little while, but I was going to turn the camera back on and talk a little bit. I mean, it's emotionally disturbing to go through this exercise. I've done it in front of 100 people. I've done it sitting here, right here at home alone with my computer and my camera. It's not easy. It's tough reading that stuff. But we need to know that this is happening so we can take steps to stop it. We're human beings, folks. We're not going to hurt you in the bathrooms. Rule number 1. We're educated, some of us. We all need education. We're human beings. We want to live practical, regular, boring, normal lives. We might require some hormones and some surgeries. But other than that, we're completely good quality, capable, competent people. We put up with so much crap. You offer hand in friendship, we'll treat you like gold. So used to being treated like crap, but if someone treats us well, we'll treat you well back. Some of us appear to be bitchy all the time and complaining. That's what activists has to do. You didn't get human rights by sitting there. It was when people stood up and said, well, we want human rights. We need human rights. We're demanding it. Next, we're demanding health care. We're demanding access to ID documents. So privileged and lucky to be here in St. John's, Newfoundland, where I don't think there's ever been a trans person murdered here. And I feel relatively safe walking up and down any street in this city. But obviously there are places all over the world you cannot do that. And we need better education and awareness. We need to talk trans issues in the schools. We need trans people being sent into schools to educate. We need to be going into workplaces. Governments. Still a lot of stigma. Still a lot of myths. A lot of misinformation. I admire drag queens. I admire gay people. I admire non-binary intersex people. Anyone else that wants to claim the term they. Some of these people want to claim the name trans even though they don't go through the hormones or the surgeries. Maybe they don't suffer challenges with getting access to health care, housing, employment. Maybe they do, I don't know. It's a lot of gender variant people, gender non-conforming people who face ridicule as well. Let's focus on the core issues, folks, and let's try to work together to strengthen numbers and unity. Don't like what I saw in Toronto today. 2 separate trans organizations fighting each other. Literally a fist fight broke out because a radical group wanted to raise a green kaleidoscope flag and celebrate rather than commemorate and memorialize. And gay organizations are trying to cash in. Now's a good time to make money donations to us. Well, no. Donate those money to trans organizations. Because we desperately need them more than the gay organizations do. And we know trans better than they know trans, believe me. Because we are trans. Anyway, this has been a kind of an impromptu. Traditional. I said I would do a traditional Transgender Day of Remembrance event since nobody else in this town seemed to want to do one. I'm glad that there's people that are twisting it into something called Trans Activist Week, and they're doing all sorts of other panel discussions and fun events for the kids and whatnot, but we can't forget of why we're really here and why we have to do this. As long as trans people are being targeted and murdered, Jennifer McCreath will be doing Trans Day of Remembrance events every year, whether it's in front of a microphone and a podium, or if it's in front of my camera. Anyways, thanks everyone for watching. I'm Jennifer McCreath.